With its tree-lined streets, period properties and great transport links, Hammersmith in West London is a popular and colourful part of the capital.
Well, just a short walk from the tube station, I'm here to see a one-bedroom flat which had a guide price of £190,000. Now, for a one-bedroom flat, that sounds like a lot of money. However, when I tell you that houses on this street have sold for around £2 million, suddenly, maybe it's not such a lot.
It's a very attractive property from the outside, although the side entrance is less appealing. I would have preferred to climb the steps, but this is a ground floor flat, and something as simple as a new door could improve first impressions.
Oh, talk about disappointing. Beautiful building on the outside, and walk in here and, well, look at it. What a wreck. What a shame. Still, let's try and see through the fact it's not quite what I anticipated. We've got a lot of space, bearing in mind it's a ground floor flat. A lot of space and a lot of work.
It's sad, so sad, with a sad situation.
Well, quite, it is a sad situation, but let's look on the bright side if we can. The property comes with a garage, 3 large rooms and some period features that may be salvageable, although there's nothing salvageable about that bathroom. But then things go from tragic to magic.
Ho, 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 it's magic!
This isn't just a garden, it's a building plot. There's huge scope for an extension, and if you're able to achieve half of what the next door neighbours managed, you could create something pretty fabulous. With his successful bid of £300,000, a whopping £110,000 over the guide, was ex-property surveyor Chris. He was bidding on the flat for himself and business partner Robbie. They recently started a property business and have big plans for this particular pad.
Robbie, Chris, good to meet you both.
Hi.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Why did you want to buy this?
We bought this property because it was, first of all, it was in our search area. And secondly, as you can see, it's a bit of a project, so there's a fair bit of work to be done, and we think value to be added.
Right. What kind of projects do you look for?
Well, generally we look, like Chris said, anything that we can add value to. That's the key to our criteria. And this one here, it's got a garage in the demise, and we know we can actually go from a 1-bedroom to a 3-bedroom. So
wow.
That's key.
Now, you paid quite a lot over the guide price. I mean, do you think the guide price was unrealistic, or...?
We tend to find that the guide prices are generally set fairly low to sort of generate interest, and we've paid, significantly over the guide price.
But that said, we probably would have went another 20,000-30,000 to get it.
Yeah, I mean, we think that we paid 300. We think that's a reasonable price. We could have gone slightly higher, but we think that there's a profit in there at that price. Well, hopefully we've done our numbers right.
So tell me more about you two.
Well, background's a little bit different. Chris is from more of a professional background. I played professional sport for 10 years.
Oh, right, what?
Back in rugby league, back in Australia.
Oh, right.
So I came over in 2006, and I ended up working for the same investment firm that Chris was doing some property consulting for. And we were sitting side by side, and then we kind of hit it off, and we thought we'd give it a crack.
Great. And what about you, Chris?
My background's commercial property, so I was sort of buying and selling, shops and offices, industrial buildings, and developing sort of much larger buildings than this. But I've decided to do it with our own capital, and so it's pretty much the same process. It's just the numbers are a bit smaller, but the risks, I suppose, are a little bit more personal. We
saw an opportunity here. We weren't going to waste it, so we thought, let's do it ourselves. Let's put our money together, our capital together, and do it ourselves. So now it's all up to us, and all our money's in.
So this is very much a joint venture, is it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And what kind of roles do you both play?
Whoever's got experience in one area, then we sort of tend to let that person get on with it. So I do everything.
Legals. I've turned into his handyman, really. But Chris is brilliant with the numbers and also the legals and so forth. And essentially, I'll just project manage then.
But we're fairly hands-on. So as you can see, there's a fair bit of work here to be done. But we'll get contractors in to do the job, and we'll share the work.
Together forever and never to part. Together forever we two.
Sounds like a great game plan to me, considering a 3-bed garden flat in this location could command as much as £500,000. There's definitely money to be made here, if the guys have as good a plan for the renovation.
So, tell me exactly what you're going to do with this place then.
Okay, so to the right-hand side is the garage and it's accessed from the main hall. We intend to knock the garage down, build a bedroom at the front, a bathroom in between, and then a further bedroom fronting onto the garden. And that second bedroom will have an ensuite. So it will become a 3-bedroom, and there'll be a rear extension out the back here with bifold doors opening onto the garden.
Oh.
And all this garden area here will be either decked or paved.
Right. So have you applied for planning permission yet?
We have actually, yeah.
And have you had discussions with the planners as to whether or not they'll say yes or no?
Yeah, we have. Yeah,
and?
Yeah. But, I mean, you can never tell, but the feedback's been positive.
I think the important thing is that next door have done exactly what we want to do. So a precedent's been set, so to speak. So we know we want to extend it. They have, and they've turned their garage into bedrooms as well.
And also this property you can see here, the building line is exactly where we want to build out to. We're not going 2 stories, so we're sort of confident that we're going to get something along the lines we want, but you can never be sure exactly what concessions you're going to have to make.
And if they say no, worst case scenario, would you just restore it as it is?
Yeah.
But you don't think that's going to happen?
Well, let's see what happens. But we're confident we should be able to get a rear extension at least, you know, and we know we should be able to demolish the garage and actually put those bedrooms in, either whether it be 1 bedroom or the 2 bedrooms.
The boys have set a budget for the work of £100,000. So if planning permission is granted and all goes well, they stand to make up to £100,000 in profit. They've got experience on their side. This will be the 3rd project these two have tackled together.
What's the kind of timescale for sorting this out?
We've got a timescale of 9 months, and we think there'll be 2 months involved in the planning process, probably 4 months on site doing the work, 4 to 6 months on site doing the work, and then 3 months on the other side selling.
Well, I'm really excited to see when it's finished. I think you did an amazing job. So, congratulations. Okay. Good luck with it.
Thank you very much.
And we look forward to seeing how you
Thank you
get
very much.
on.
Great, cheers. Thank you.
Well, Robbie's certainly got the skills to make light work of this project, and surveyor Chris shouldn't have too many problems with those structural issues. They make a great team, actually. I just hope they get that planning permission that they so want. Find out how they get on later in the show.
The property was a bit of a wreck, but had potential written all over it. So, 9 months later, have Robbie and Chris managed to turn this place from shabby to chic? Oh yes, they certainly have. This is unrecognisable as the drab pad with bricked-up windows and holes in the floor. The wide-open hallway allows lots of light into the new bathroom. And not 1, but 3 bedrooms, one of which used to be the dingy garage. At the back of the property is a huge open-plan kitchen, all done to the highest of specs.
So we're in the kitchen diner. So this will be the area for a dining table. Obviously there's an island here. We've got an inbuilt music system which you can plug in your MP3 player, and there's an amplifier here for the music system. Then here, island with the sink. We've got a boiling hot water tap and filtered cold water there. Underfloor heating in the floor, and obviously you can see it's all oak flooring. So you can see from the finishes that we've tried to go the extra mile in producing a property that's a very high standard.
He's not kidding, but sometimes it's what's on the outside that counts, and that garden has gone from dumping ground to open plan oasis.
All right, well, I suppose the unique selling point to this property is the fact that we're able to actually get an extension to the side and to the rear. Formerly there was a garage to the left-hand side of the property, and we were able to actually kind of not only come out to the side but also come back. So it allowed us to get another 2 bedrooms there, and also ensuite and the main bathroom. What we wanted to do was create an open plan living in the kitchen and the living room, bringing that all in together, and then kind of also integrating that into the garden. And I think we've successfully been able to do that, and that's kind of the wow factor. When most people walk in down the hall, they can see the garden straight through the middle of the property. The fact that we've been able to kind of come out the side and also the rear, we've doubled the floor space, so we've gone from 700 square feet to 1,400 square feet, and that's essentially where the profits have been.
You could easily forget you're in the heart of London here. A transformation like this doesn't come easily, and Chris and Robbie weren't afraid to get their hands dirty.
At one point we had gas masks on, goggles, hard hats. It was like being in a coal mine. It was pretty messy, but that's part of the job. You know, you have to roll your sleeves up. I mean, you can't expect to sit in an office and hope things turn out. You have to sort of get involved.
We quite like the early part, getting in there and actually kind of tearing it apart, because that's when you see the opportunities. And if you're not on site and you've got a builder doing that, you're kind of missing opportunities, therefore you're missing adding that extra value.
Don't let you take me twice.
It sure looks as though they haven't missed a trick here, though, and no wonder, with Robbie's eagle eye on hand.
Attention to detail is what we sort of pride ourselves on. So, I thought I was a perfectionist until I met Robbie, and everything we do is that right? Does it look straight, etc., etc.
They do say great minds think alike. Well, some of the time.
Sometimes we fight it out, sometimes we actually toss a coin. The floorboards actually was because I won the toss. Chris wanted something completely different, which probably would have devalued the property. But things like that, you do need that discussion and debate to actually work out the best scenario.
Talk about the best scenario, they've done a stunning job here. After a few months to get the necessary planning consents, the guys were able to stick to their 4-month timescale for the work. But with a high-end finish like this, surely they went over their original £100,000 budget.
We've increased the spec, so accordingly our budget's gone up a little bit. We've gone at 30,000 over that, so we're at 130,000 total. The way we weigh it up is that if we spend £1 and we can make £2 out of it, it might be worth doing.
Let's see if 2 local estate agents agree that the extra spend on high-end fittings was worth it.
The standard of finish for this property is incredibly high. It has beautiful integrated appliances, and it's finished throughout to a very high standard.
We don't see many properties of this sort of quality. The finish and the size is really unique.
I particularly like the size of the garden. The fact that you have access to a garden of this size in this location is fantastic.
If they were to put it up for rent, what return could the boys expect?
If you were to put this property on the rentals market, you could expect to achieve in the region of £3,000 per calendar month.
This property would be ideal for tenants we have looking in the area, and it would be £3,500 per calendar month.
We're told a little bit higher than that, but 3-bedroom in this area. But to be honest, we're not in the rental market game.
So it's the moment of truth. They paid £300,000 for the property at auction and spent £130,000 on the renovations. With that total spend of £430,000, will the boys be looking at a high-end return for their high-spec finish?
I would expect this property to achieve in the region of £750,000.
If we were to put the property up for sale, we would expect to achieve figures in the region of £800,000.
These figures give a potential pre-tax profit of between £320,000 and £370,000, minus the usual selling expenses. However, quick off the mark, Chris and Robbie have already sold it, and for the very tidy sum of £850,000.
We're quite happy with the price that we've agreed, because the buyer, it's not just about price for us, it's about the speed of completion and the position of the buyer. They're in a strong cash position and they can do a deal quickly, and we want to reinvest the money as quickly as possible.
Absolutely amazing. That sale price gives them a profit before tax of £420,000, nearly double their money. And with their next project already in the pipeline, they must really love the property development game.